for it.
Don't do it from your
First time was
phone.
beginner's luck, is what you're saying. I think.
the problem here is that we are not paying for anything.
And now,
Oh, it sounds great. See, the problem if you don't pay for anything is that this is what you get.
Are you telling me you're using your neighbor's internet? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, exactly.
The houses are close enough together in Anisha's neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
It's no problem.
Yeah. So J Money, to answer your question about whether we could play the theme song, we could share the theme song. Yeah, sure, we can.
I don't know. If we could find a way to have a less professional podcast, I think we found it.
We've done.
No. There are depths that we have still yet to explore.
So
this is the Drew Brees Memorial Podcast. Welcome in.
We're just going to spend like a couple hours now just talking about Drew, right? Okay. But so first, as I pour out a little bit of the brown liquor, I will show you the bottle that I have if High West decides to drop the bag. And then for sponsorship, High West people, get at me. By the way, if you would like one of these lovely Boiled Sports rocks glasses, you can go to boiledsports.com. The promo code is pay us $15 and you get one. It's fine. $15. This is really good. That's the promo code.
Yeah, and if you knew how little money we make on those.
Oh yeah, these are
shipped. I think
we're in the you actually make money. I think
we do.
No, the buyer actually comes out ahead
because of the shipping puts us way in the hole, right?
That's right. I didn't factor that in.
Just give you a little. We like to give you a peek behind the curtain. Is Jay did all this stuff? He did a run through. He sent us some glasses, wrapped them really well, and he's like, after I take the cost of the glasses and the shipping materials, I think we're good.
Packing
but no shipping.
Hey, look.
Hey, it's not a business.
We're learning.
It's a hobby that we lose money on. I've talked about this.
We're only 15 years into this.
We are quite literally a nonprofit.
Exactly.
Not intentionally. We're bad at this.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so I the first thing that I wanted to say on this beautiful podcast live that seems to be working. Hello, anybody that has anything to say, we can do it. We can put it up on the board just like this. Hey, Nathan,
that Nate is famous all of a sudden like that.
Exactly. Same thing. Boom. Look at Kevin.
Kevin. Wow.
That's right. This is
incredible.
The technology that we have.
Broadcast to dozens, I'm told.
We don't have enough technology to get this little watermark out of the top or to get live stream because we are not a good business model. Anyway, the first thing that I want to say is that we should not be changing our clocks. This is such a scam. I can't believe that we're still doing this.
Scam.
What are we doing here? It doesn't make sense.
Jay, what do you think of this? What do you think about the clocks being changed?
As a man of leisure, what do I think? I think we don't need it. I think we should just be, on one time all the time. And thank you, Anish, for putting that up. By the way, just to veer into another lane here, I was all prepared with a joke about the fact that Purdue clearly will not be placed in Assembly Hall because you can't play in your home arena. Nobody?
Look at Charles's. I'm sorry, Jay. This is more important. Look at Charles's message.
Who's Charles? Oh.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, hold on, Charles. One second. We're
put that on the board.
We're going to put this on the board. Okay. So listen, Charles, I'm doing this for you. Okay.
It's our favorite rye, I think, universally. Is that fair?
This is the bourbon that I have been drinking almost exclusively. Listen, drop the bag. Drop the bag and I will put this right here during all of our podcasts, which get dozens of viewers. High West, though.
See, I actually like the cheap High West, the double rye.
Oh,
See, this is good stuff. You're putting this.
I got the American Prairie is solid.
That's not cheap. That's not cheap. Not all of us have Ramaswamy money just floating.
Yeah. So what happened?
Many monies.
What happened was that the last time I went to J Money's place, I actually stole a little sapling. And it's a potted plant. It's an indoor. It's completely indoors right now. But the money tree is growing.
Gotta water it.
At tailgates, he's gonna have the High West. So that seems like that's like a way to lure us into.
I was just gonna say that's like a van going by with candy.
Yeah,
Chris Harder has a really important question. Okay. He asks, "How do I get a super soft vintage Purdue T-shirt?"
Well, Jay, here's the thing. I know this company. Okay. I know this company. It's a husband and wife, martinvintage.com. Check out martinvintag.com. Interboiled at checkout. You get a massive discount. I think it's up to
double digits. I forget.
Double digits.
Yeah.
15%.
It's the best. So, should
we talk about the tournament? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Go
back to the
sweatshirts too.
Let's go back to the arena question.
Can I before we get into this too deep? Can I tell you? I literally I was just yelling when they announced Purdue's number. I was just making this growl, yell noise because it's official. We're one step forward. It's going to happen. There's going to be a tournament.
You said during football, you said not till the ball is kicked will you believe it.
I'm feeling so much better than I did way back there.
All right. These people want to talk about basketball. Kevin Pass asked he also asked, is Gonzaga really good enough to go undefeated? Boy, Dad, your thoughts.
Dude. This is a problem for me. Real problem.
Because you got them going far, don't you?
Yeah.
They're good.
They're good.
They're good.
And you look at their bracket. Who you got coming out of there other than them? I mean.
No, I agree.
Holy moly.
So
I never thought Kansas was good. I think
Virginia's over there.
And you need a dynamic guard to go far in the bracket.
Defending champs are over there.
Does not have a dynamic guard.
Defending champs
Virginia, who knows? They may not even play. I'm not kidding. I had them in the Final Four just out of my hatred for Gonzaga.
Right.
And then I was like, seriously, we could have Louisville playing that slot. It could really happen.
Is that what would happen?
Yes, they have 4 replacement teams. And Louisville's the first replacement.
So the bubble, the first.
So Louisville is rooting for people to get sick.
Now the
alternates. They're like, you're the alternate on the 2021 NCAA tournament. Yeah, so they're actually literally encouraging the Virginia guys to go out and, you know what, you're fine. Go out.
Meet
up with people.
When are you going to be in Indianapolis again? I hear it's a beautiful city. So much to do.
When are you going to be in Indianapolis?
Never. It's a once in a lifetime type of thing.
For many, never, yes.
So here's the problem. Okay, I watched Gonzaga play BYU.
I watched that one too. Yes.
They're not impressive.
You don't think so?
No.
I think BYU is a decent team. That's what
BYU's decent. BYU's decent. Gonzaga has very good parts though, right? But they showed us that just because they haven't played good teams, they could stub their toe because they're not very battle tested. And this is always my problem with Gonzaga. Always.
But they are tournament tested though. They have Few is a tourney coach that's gone pretty far. This
undead.
Is not
you know that? That's the thing. How many lives has he lived? He's a zombie. You look at that, man. It's terrifying. The skin is either he was pulled out of a tomb someplace in Egypt. I don't know. But he's got to be at least 5.
I'm always wondering which coach he's going to go after on these. Sometimes it's someone that he doesn't. I was recently thinking about.
It's generally arbitrary.
I was recently thinking about a podcast probably 10 years ago when you were talking about how crazy Ron Zook looked. And then you stopped yourself and you said, just in the off chance, Ron Zook, here's this coach. I want no part of you in any way. I think
Mark Few, though, I feel like I could take him.
Maybe he looks
like
lean.
a little man. I'm not a very little man anymore. Maybe a couple years ago, just the weight class. I think I could take a couple shots from him. It wouldn't even hurt me. I just got to be like, what? Are you really want to go? You heard me talking on my podcast, and now we're gonna do this. Listen, he's gonna be in my neighborhood like tomorrow.
True, that's your turf.
Go,
so listen,
coach. I know where to hide, and then jump out from around the corner.
It appears that our audience actually would like to talk.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here on the side, actually.
Honest ceiling on this team. I said this last week when we all talked. This is
world champions.
This is not a hedge as much as it might normally be. I feel like a team this young, if they crap out early, you'd be, not totally shocked because they just don't have the experience. But if they play like they did in February, I mean, the ceiling is what? Maybe roof. More than a Sweet 16.
Ceiling's the roof.
The roof is the ceiling. The ceiling is the roof. Melissa, who is an old pal here, we've that's not right. She's not old. We've been interacting with her for a long time.
Long time pal.
On the Twitter. Long time pal. That's a better way to put it. So I said on Twitter, and see if you guys disagree or agree, I like Purdue's path to the round of 16 better than Michigan's.
Michigan, I feel bad for their injuries, they have a great team. And honestly, we were talking about Gonzaga. That was the, Michigan and Gonzaga were the number one seeds that I didn't want any part of. Now Michigan is kind of hobbled. I think Illinois is a more dangerous 1 seed. And of the 4 1 seeds that you'd rather be the 4, Baylor, again, much respect to Baylor, I suppose. But
they showed they're invincible, haven't they? Just especially of late. They're very invincible. Very invincible. Very invincible.
I like that you guys
are sure if that's a word.
I love this. You guys are looking all the way ahead already. Elite 8, mark it down.
So North Texas apparently is a good team. I'm an expert on North Texas, let me tell you.
I watched North Texas play. They went 12 minutes without scoring, I think, in their last game.
That's
not good. And they weren't playing a good team because they were playing a team from their conference. They were toast, by the way. They were toast.
Are you worried about having to play the extremely handsome Jay Wright and Villanova in the second round?
I would be, but I don't have Villanova getting that far. What? Oh,
somebody asked earlier who's picking 12s over 5s, and it sounds like there's one. There's one. Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank.
I don't know which bird they are, but their logo has a bird. So I'm just going to flap my wings.
The most majestic of birds. I'm pretty.
Yeah, I would assume it's probably, what's the bird on the golf course? Albatross. The Winthrop albatross.
Eagle, birdie. There's a lot of them.
They're all birds, man. They're all birds.
They're all birds. It's probably a mythological bird. I bet it's a Winthrop golden eagle.
Sure, they're the Golden Eagles. So the mighty Golden Eagles of Winthrop.
Mighty Golden Eagles. They have very few losses. I don't know if you've seen
those are the people.
They've got very few losses. They have 1 losses. And
Winthrop?
Villanova has an injured starter, as we know, Gillespie. Now, if Purdue gets to Villanova, do you think they'll remember 2 years ago?
I suspect they may.
They may.
You mean Villanova,
Purdue will
right?
be looking around for Boogie, and he'll be nowhere to be found.
That game was the least close game they had, I think, in that tournament.
Yes, and
that was a runaway.
Remember, Harms was awesome in that game. Boogie was awesome in that game. I think Klein he had a couple too. Sash may have had a couple threes. It was what we call a railroad job. Do we say that? I don't know if that's.
I don't know if that's the expression.
I don't know if that's.
Just a client,
a railroad job.
If I remember it correctly.
Uh-oh.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! He's back.
Okay. All right.
And the look on his face there. He was stunned. Like. Like
How
either someone just
okay.
touched him in a place that
Problem.
was unwelcome.
I know. Usually it's Dolan internet. Usually it's the Dolan cast. Now it's
My internet has
now
not
it's
been a
mine.
problem in a long time, I would like to say.
It's
Zach the
true.
Purdue fan says take
Jim
Winthrop and
Dolan has
Rutgers to
gotten
the
his
bank.
act together.
Oh, absolutely.
Rugger. I got them Scarlet Knights getting past first round.
Let me just also say I saw
But I
someone
like Houston a lot, man.
Do
Houston
you?
and San Diego State, boy, they got long talent. If you know what I mean. I meant they have guys that
No,
are
I
tall
don't know.
and athletic.
No.
Long arms, long legs.
No. I need to
Like NBA bodies, what I'm saying.
You I saw someone on Twitter say they said something like Purdue in the Final Four, Illinois winning it all, and Rutgers in the Elite Eight. I may be a little biased. And I just want to again reiterate something we've talked about in the past.
I'm going to say no on that.
Many people don't know this. You don't actually have to pick Big Ten teams to advance. That doesn't necessarily help Purdue in any way. So let me say this right now. I do not want Illinois winning a national championship. I really don't want that.
Jay, could you tell us why you might not want a Big Ten team winning a national championship? It's not Purdue. Could you tell us? How about one that's a 2-hour drive from Purdue?
That's part of it. I don't want to hear about it every time Purdue goes there. Anytime we talk to an Illinois fan, I really don't. And the whole thing, when we got into it with someone once a while back, they said something like, "It helps recruiting," as though Matt Payne would say, "Come to Purdue, you can play against the team that won the national title last year." What? No. You can play in their arena. Maybe some of that championship will rub off on you.
Sure. They don't want you there.
Meanwhile, every kid that's being recruiting, is also being recruited by Illinois. It's not, that is not good. You don't want Big Ten teams winning it. I think your conference loyalty in basketball should extend to a day like today, where you simply look at it and you say, wow, the Big Ten is really good. Mm-hmm. That says a lot about Purdue's season. And that's it right there, right?
That's it. That's enough.
It is a good conference. It's a meat grinder. It means Purdue's a good team, that they were as good as they were.
Yep.
To hell with Illinois, Kevin Prast. You're right. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that was the soapbox I wanted to get on.
Yeah, this is an important point. We played them for a trophy in football. So to hell with them.
That is a
enough.
Beloved trophy that is talked about.
It is a
in many circles.
It's a child's cannon. That's it. That's all
a child's cannon.
It's a children's.
I saw someone on here. One of our. I love how things. Sometimes it's like talking to my mom. Like things. People. Someone in the comments said, "Wait, Pitino's at Iona." I love that kind of stuff. That's just blissfully going through life, no idea what's happening.
Listen, but to be fair, wouldn't we all be in a better
Nate's
place?
Point real quick. Could you bring up Nate's point?
Yeah, wouldn't we all be in a better place if we didn't know where Rick Pitino was at all times?
I think that because of his past, aren't there laws that say you should know where he is if he's in your neighborhood?
Especially if he's in a restaurant. I think that's.
I did it.
Oh, what?
He's also the undead. If you've ever seen that guy in person, and I have, I saw him at a Butler game.
Which guy? Pitino. Yes.
Oh my gosh! And I was 20 feet away.
He's a corpse.
Guess what? Yeah. I have gonorrhea now.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Just from being in the same stadium.
Listen,
everybody. It's like a blast radius.
Let's not badmouth.
What? I'm just telling you facts.
Oh, Rick Pitino? Oh God, that'd be great.
Okay, hey. So by the way, at Boiled Sports, we already have an early leader, even though Archie Miller still has a job. We already have IU's next coach. I don't think we should tell him yet. Should we wait a while or? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
I'm telling you, based on the
longest voice greeting ever.
It's been a while since I saw this guy. Mm-hmm. He's got an extra wide face shield now.
Well, yes. Here's the thing. He gets paid a little more than he used to at the smaller, lesser conference.
Southern food can add weight.
Fried food is delicious. I love fried food.
Oh, who doesn't? Are you seeing the?
He got those on Amazon.
Everyone says Anish is muted. Everyone says Anish is muted.
But we can hear him.
We can hear him fine.
We can hear him.
To it.
He goes, interesting. What we're going to need to do now is we're just going to need to repeat everything Anish says for the
That's simple. Yeah, I can do that. I do that anyway. Like after I talk to Anish, generally I go to whomever's in the house and I just give highlights of what Anish told me. He's gone. He's gone. Hey, tell us, commenters. All right, can you see Jay and I right now? Because
or did it go?
Or does the whole thing go away because because the host is gone?
He says we should be good. Apparently, he can still hear us.
Okay, well, I want him back. I want my Anishi back.
Can we get subtitles for Anish?
Okay, so they can hear us. The problem is, I don't think either of us have the ability to add the comment, do we?
No, we're not. We are not the hosts. We'll just have to read it.
So we're going to have to just, I hope Anish can get back wherever he's gone. God rest his soul. Godspeed. He's rebooting or something, I believe.
He says he's in our little private chat.
He's hearing.
He's screaming. He's just say the comment.
Say the comment. All right. Handle Jones, my man, checking in with a big yes. All right. So, Jay, do you feel confident? Have you run through your picks?
No,
have you already done that?
I have not yet.
I can tell you, I've gone through my picks and I've literally had so many scratch outs. I had to reprint and I did a clean version. And I feel awful about that. So here's the problem that I have, and see if anybody out there listening agrees.
I can't wait to hear this.
No, I went through it and I said, okay, part of my formula for winners is you got to have a dynamic guard, right? That can put a team on the back. I think big men are good, but guards are better. The second part is a coach that has tournament success. This is where the problem comes.
Look at the comment. Anyway, go ahead.
So I went through my whole thing and I had a couple. So for instance, at one scenario, I had Texas getting to the Final Four. That's not going to happen.
Why is that not going to happen? You don't believe in Shaka Smart?
Well, I don't believe in Shaka Smart, and I don't believe in Texas. I think Texas has a dark cloud. Last time Texas went to the Final Four, do you remember?
2000. Don't say it. 2003.
Okay, and who was on the team?
Kevin Durant?
Yes. It took Kevin Durant to get him to the Final Four, and they couldn't win it all.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
What's your point?
Look.
We'd like to welcome Anish to the show.
We're not entirely sure if I'm actually back, but we'll see.
We'll see. You
6 foot 3.5 of.
I think what we learned is
Anish,
really not critical, Anish. I think we know. Ben
has the best point of all.
Yes,
his wife usually wins the pool, and it's disheartening, and it's true. It happens. The person who doesn't think about it sometimes just zips through. I've already made a problem. I didn't even go through one where I didn't think. Just went,
right.
I went through. I was like, but wait a second, Boiler Dowd. Let's think before you put the pen to paper, dummy. And I've now thought way too much. I've got a lot of teams in college basketball that I don't have any faith in, and I've got them going far. That's a problem. I've got a lot of teams with crappy coaches going far. Mercy. I've got unproven coaches going far.
It's a strange year, though, isn't it? I mean, just in general, it's a strange year.
Well, you don't have like a Kentucky or a Duke
look at the top. Look at the top four. We get the top four to pick from is Gonzaga, Michigan, Illinois, and Baylor, right? Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a weird year. So I do think that weird things are gonna happen.
Yep.
If are
you saying Purdue's gonna win the national championship?
I say Purdue's gonna win the national championship every year. You know this.
How much have I had to drink? Hardly any. Thank you very much.
I would like to give a quick two quick things. Two quick things. We were corrected. It was not Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was 15 in 2003.
Was it Aldridge?
TJ Ford was on that team.
Was Ford and Aldridge on that team?
Yeah, because I remember. Wasn't there a tournament game where Kevin Durant played Beasley? And that was the big thing, and somehow Beasley went on. The only thing I remember
TJ
about
Ford's my height.
Yes. The only thing I remember about Michael Beasley is that he once wore a watch on both wrists and his ankle at the same time. It was the best. It's the best fashion statement I've ever.
When you tap the one on your ankle, like you know, that's pretty cool. But Anish, can I ask you a serious question? Have you paid your internet bill?
Oh no. Is that a problem?
There's definitely something happening on your side.
Free internet for all.
I think it's because
is it net zero? Do you have
exactly
net zero?
Net zero. Okay. The other thing is one other quick housekeeping thing for those of you watching whatever. This is streaming across Anish. Is it every media platform in the world? Someone said they did not see one of the comments. That's because this is on Twitter. It's on the Bookface. It's on YouTube. Actually, I don't know where it is, but I know it's on multiple.
CNN.
We're preempting Jake Tapper. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're on C-SPAN. We're always on C-SPAN though.
That's true.
C-SPAN too.
I think isn't everyone always on C-SPAN?
Everyone gets a day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every feed that there is on one of the C-SPANs. So,
all right.
So Anish, you filled out a bracket.
Show.
Jay has not.
I haven't.
Right? Anish, I'm presumptive. Have you filled one out, Anish?
I haven't filled it out, but I know where I'm leaning. I
I have no idea. This is one of those, and I think that the
Colorado.
Well, 2 years off too is weird. I don't know, man. Virginia's still a defending champs. It's
the last tournament. The last tournament that Purdue played in, we were there. We were
at the last Purdue tournament game.
So, and the last tournament game that was played, you know what I mean? Like
he was at like the last how many Purdue tournament games? Just both the ones in Louisville.
Two.
Just the two are down there, right?
Yeah, I didn't go to see the Villanova. That was out east, wasn't it? The
Villanova
game and
maybe.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's all so weird. But yeah, so what was the question? I'm sorry.
I don't know if there's a question.
I like Baylor to win the first round. Is that
yeah.
I think that's
I
think
Hartford's really bad. So yeah.
I think Drexel's going to get
first time ever in the tournament. So Baylor got a pretty sweetheart of a deal there they'll win by like 70 versus Hartford.
I think Illinois might win by more against Drexel.
Yeah, that's a bad one. But yes. There's some others in here that I think that Norfolk State playing Gonzaga. That's an experienced tournament coach, I believe. It's the same guy. He's been in the tournament a couple times. Because I guess I just told you who I think is going to win that play-in.
There's also some I don't know if you guys feel this way. I know that I have not watched as much college basketball this year as I have in past years. Right. This feels like one of those years, right? It's an upside down. Like there's teams like Duke that aren't even in the tournament. You got North Carolina as an 8 seed, and then when you look at I know you got some blue bloods at the 1s and 2s, some, not all. But then down like in the bottom of the bracket, you got Alabama as a 2 seed, Houston as a 2 seed. Like those are the teams that either don't eke in or they do it as a 9, right? Traditionally, those programs are not.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. I think I gotta say Pitino against number 2 Alabama. So if I'm Alabama and I get a 2 seed in this tournament, and I got to go against Pitino, that doesn't feel like a great draw, right?
No,
as a 2, that's not a great draw.
No,
he knows how to coach in the tournament. Let's give him that.
Yeah, no kidding.
So there's a lot to watch. There's a lot that's going to be fun, and if you never know what's going to happen in these tournaments, nobody ever has any idea. But man, I don't see how. There will be someone, of course, though, who's in the 100th percentile and has,
I actually think this year is going to be a strange one. Like I think this is the year to pick all upsets. This is the year where the random person who has who picks alphabetically or something like that wins your bracket challenge.
Well, my daughter has 2 15s playing in the championship.
This is the year.
If that happened, I'm pretty sure she'd win the whole bracket challenge.
Right. We'd be rich.
Iona versus Oral Roberts. You like Pitino versus Oral Roberts. That's the pick.
That's it. That's the one.
Pitino always succumbs to Oral Roberts. What? Are you all right? What's the matter? Oh man.
All right. Well, Georgetown beat Colorado. I think one of the questions.
Yeah, I think Georgetown is in a better place to make a run than pretty much anyone.
No.
Excellent point.
I like that analysis. No.
And here's why. Because the magic of Patrick Ewing in the Garden doesn't travel with him to Indianapolis.
You never know, man.
Hey, man, Patrick Ewing did pretty well in Indianapolis, too. He did pretty well in Indianapolis, too, as I recall. Yeah.
50-50 proposition.
It took like 15 steps, Jay.
He always took 15 steps.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I have Colorado winning that game, by the way.
Wow.
Okay, that's a good question. Check
Yes.
Nate Smith's question. I like that one. Bring that up. Who will be Purdue's alpha dog in the tournament?
That performance the other day by Trey, when that second half, when he began to just say, "Just give me the ball every time," and he would just do a little dream shake. Man, that was fun. That was fun. And the great part about this is
brilliant point. The guy he fed off the crowd clearly.
Yeah.
Something
he was
that
talking
no
to
one has
him.
had this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is not one of those teams where you're gonna need like a traditional alpha dog, whatever that means.
Oh boy. Oh
no, we've lost Denise.
Oh, no.
He gone.
Hello.
I bet other people don't think this is funny as we are, as we do.
He's gone.
He's gone. Now he's really gone. Okay. Yeah. How many too big fouls will be called on Edie against
North Texas?
North Texas. Too big, meaning, could you expound? Boiler in Texas, could you expound?
Well, I think he means the bullshit.
Oh, it just means because he's guilty of being 7'4".
Because he's giant. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, many. Maybe there'll be, to bring balance in the world, they'll have a rule that somehow Edie does something to someone, he gets ejected from the tournament forever. I mean, very funny. But refs, if you don't get a ref that's called a guy like him, and he's going to look bigger than he did in the Big Ten because he's playing against shorter guys, he's going to be very guilty of being 7'4". I guarantee you that.
Right.
So
right.
That's a tough thing to. He's done a great job, by the way. They say the elbows things. He's done a very good job at shaping that. Right. Mm-hmm. He's really he's not bringing the elbows high anymore. And for him to not bring elbows high, think about that. Like he has to keep them way inside. The thing he's done is really impressive against big. Well, I got paint on my sleeve. Against Big Ten power forwards is tap the ball to himself so well, right? Where there's no contact. Now the question is, will they allow him to do that versus North Texas? So, and I hope North Texas. I think they have mean green on their jerseys.
They do on at least one version of them, yes.
And it seems like a sitcom to me, so I want them to wear those.
You mean they seem like a sitcom team? Like they don't really
It says exist? Mean green, yeah. It doesn't that seem like something like they'd put in a show so my mom would like it?
You're not gonna be laughing when they lose, but Yeah.
I do not have them losing that game.
No, I don't. Oh, so Boiler in Texas tells us, I as usual, we've done our normal amount of research. He says the tallest guy in North Texas is 6'10".
6'10". Yeah.
I definitely like Purdue's inside game chances. But by the way, I think we talked about this last week. Did you see there was some time there where Edie and Trey were both in the game for a while?
Well, it wasn't very long. It was, I think, about 7 seconds of gameplay. It's almost like I think it was a substitution pattern thing, like Painter put him in for a situation, and it was not intended, and it was over very quickly. But I loved it. I was so excited when I saw that.
Yeah.
Jay,
he probably listens to the show. He probably listens to the show and thought, that's a good idea. Let's try that out.
Well, I can tell you that part of his family, huge BS people. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
I meant Painter, but yes, I know who you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
Oh, Painter, the whole Painter family's BS people. I mean, you rub elbows with his son, right? I mean, when you're at different
at different venues,
games. Yeah, venues. Yep.
Yeah. You were going to ask me a question, I think, but I don't know what it was.
I don't either.
Oh man, this is off to a good start.
Okay. Here's the question, because I had some people get on. Like it doesn't matter what we do on Twitter, we're gonna have somebody get angry at us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had people get angry at me because I was too positive after that loss. Just too positive. Stop being soft. Stop. You need to have higher expectations. Just stop already.
Like what?
I don't know.
Top 8 team in the country beat Purdue in
know.
overtime that Purdue had already swept? You really think Purdue's going to beat them 3 times in a row? Like,
I know. That's the thing. That's a good team. Purdue played them evenly twice, and a third time they took them
almost
overtime.
took them back from 19 down. Unreal. They almost won the game.
That's a great game. That's a great game.
Yeah.
So you were not upset after the loss?
Not at all.
Me neither.
I would have been upset if they had played the second half like they played the first half.
Absolutely, because that would have hurt their seeding. That's all I cared about. That's it.
Right.
And as soon as
when they came back, when they came back, I kind of felt like that's it. They're fine now. Like when they came all the way back, I thought even if they lose now, they have not hurt themselves. They played a great game against a very, very good team that pushed Illinois to overtime today. Yeah. I mean, they knocked out Michigan. They pushed Illinois to overtime.
That's a motivated, very talented Illinois team. They're on a mission, absolutely, right?
They really are. I don't want them to win. I don't like Underwood either.
He lost weight. He doesn't look as much like a used car salesman to me anymore. No offense to all my used car salesman friends out there.
Big demo. Big demo.
Yeah.
They love us.
He's lost 40 pounds since Christmas, I think.
Really?
His daughter made a weight comment to him when he had a picture taken or a Christmas card or something. Yeah. And so he started walking, I guess, 9 miles a day, something ridiculous. So he's one of those guys, he could get really fat really quick again.
Right.
He doesn't look right as a thin person. Look better like Gaffigan says, you look better as a fat person. No. Anyway. I like Illinois. I like that they won 2 Big Ten titles this year. I think that's great. Good for them.
A little shade being thrown there.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that was looking at the standings.
Mad at that too.
And they're in second place, and it says plus 0.5 games behind.
Right. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That means they're ahead. That means they're ahead.
That means they're plus.
That means they're by standings. They're ahead. Right.
Yeah.
Oh no! But we chose something that happens to benefit one of our top.
It always benefits them. That's the thing about. I mean, I know we got a lot of Purdue fans who disagree with me, and I'm okay with that. But if you can find me a time when the Big Ten has favored one of the lessers, just tell me. Tell me when it was.
Well, someone made a point on Twitter, I think in response to maybe one of the things you said, maybe I just was reading it in general. They said, you know what, the conference had no problem changing the rules when Ohio State ran out of games, didn't have enough games to play in the conference championship for football.
Yep.
They were okay changing the rules then, but they're not going to change them now. We can't change the rules.
Well, the funny thing is, you remember what they said? They said it's a very fluid situation. We have to be flexible enough to react and change.
Agree.
So I guess that fluidity is gone now.
We don't need to be flexible.
Now they have to follow the letter of the law since it favors Michigan. This is my problem.
I agree.
That's the whole problem. So, anyway.
So you have a legitimate beef, Illinois. And as everyone said, just make it a shared title. They do it all the time. It happens legitimately all the time. So just say, you know what, co-champs.
Co-champs, and then give Michigan the number 1 seed in the tournament, and I think everything's fine. Yeah, again, to reiterate this situation with Michigan, I think as Purdue fans, we can all really, really sympathize with Michigan's situation. Livers is a beast, and to lose him that's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah, I think So someone a little while ago said that they didn't know if they wanted Michigan or Ohio State to lose more because they hate both of them, and that's a good question. I don't know. Who they have unbearable fan bases? I guess. Is Michigan's fan base unbearable?
Well, yeah. So I've got some friends from University of Michigan. They're grads. I work with a lot of people that went to Michigan. But at the same time, I can tell you, I was at that IU game the other night, and there were Michigan kids there. And I don't want to. That'd be offensive. I don't want to offend anybody.
And it's live,
And it's live, yeah. So that's the difference. We can't edit that out. They've got a bunch of trust fund kids that are pretty tough to swallow. And like I can tell you, I was around a bunch of them, and it couldn't have just been coincidence they only have that group. They were really not fun to be around. And I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, they do have some fans that are tough to be around. So I don't know if the entire I can say the entire fan base of Michigan is that bad. The problem with Ohio State is that that's the pro team for the state of Ohio.
But Ohio State basketball has never bugged me.
No, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. And it's crazy too, because that team, that program has been good for a long time. They really forever. That's been a good program.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. They got a nice pro style venue. They've got all the resources in the world, and nobody cares.
Right.
And they've had an amazingly successful last 20 years too.
Yes.
Last 30 years. Very, very good. Very good program.
So do you let's have a little fun here. Do you think what a Big Ten team, what would be a surprise Big Ten team making the Final Four for you? Like, let's not say Michigan or
like
Illinois.
A realistic surprise?
Yes. Like, you don't think Wisconsin could make a run in the Final Four, although you're not a big believer in Baylor, and they would play Baylor in the second round, and then they'd play Purdue.
Well, to me, I got to tell you, the realistic surprise of the Big Ten would be Purdue.
Yep.
I mean, like, I look at this group and my formula for success, and that's the one that I think would be the fun surprise. Obviously, very, 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 very ahead of schedule, but I could totally see them getting past Baylor. And the reason I see them getting past Baylor is just because, okay, so the whole season, I think I said it to you. I hope I said it to you. If I didn't, I apologize. But to me, this looked like a 3-horse race all year, right? Gonzaga, Michigan, Baylor. They were better than everybody, right?
Yep.
In a fitting way, Corona, COVID shook everything up and spat it out, and Michigan and Baylor paid, right? Both of them came out not as stable on the other end. They were not playing as well, right?
Right.
Michigan came out a little shaky. They lost the game, I think, the second time back. Baylor has lost, I think, 2 games since they've had their pause or shutdown. They do not look like the same team. They could get back into rhythm. I mean, let's use Sasha as an example, right, of guys who quarantined. You know, he was quarantined, couldn't shoot a basketball. I don't know where their quarantine was, who was not able to get there. Does Rutgers get past Houston? That's no way. Sorry. I like Houston a lot. So
really?
Yeah, I like Houston a lot. Houston, that's the funny thing. That bottom bracket, like Houston and San Diego State, both of them, I think they got a lot of, like I'm telling you, I said long talent. Yeah, they've got big time guys on that on both those teams. So I think those are very fun teams to watch too. So that game, San Diego State, Houston, which is like
wouldn't that be like a Sweet 16 or an Elite 8 game or something? That's pretty far down.
Sweet 16. Yeah.
That'd be a great matchup for 2 programs that don't get that far that often. And yeah, I love everyone like Rutgers get past Houston. Let's slow down a little bit. Rutgers is in the tournament for the first time in 30 years. They're 10. I think that I would probably pick them to win their first game because they have looked good this year.
Yeah.
And they've played well in, as we know, the best conference in the country. So
and they drew a team in Clemson that they're one of those teams, a lot like West Virginia, that you're like, which team do we get tonight, right? Or which team, depending on which part of the season,
right?
They were so very, very different, right? And again, man, it is a tough bracket to pick for me. Geo Baker's very good. What's his name? Coach, the son
Pickle?
of
the Pikel?
No,
we talking about Rutgers?
The other shooting guard, Harper Jr. Yep, Harper Jr. Very good. Doesn't know where the weight room is still. Doesn't have a conditioning program. It's sad that they can't afford to get him into the nutritional program at Rutgers, but whatever, there's got to be, I understand budgets, he doesn't get to eat healthy food. It's all right. And I mean, Rutgers has, watching them in person against IU, as they just kind of kept IU at a distance, like an older brother, just kind of pushed them away, right? Effortlessly almost. They've got some parts on that team. That's a good team. They're going to be not very good next year, but they're a good team right now, and I think they will get that win. I agree with you. Does New Jersey have the Rutgers fever? Is the question.
As much as they ever do. I mean,
exactly.
People are like, "Oh, Rutgers! Did you guys know there's a tournament?"
How about that?
I've had a couple people, friends of mine, who went there, tell me today, first tournament they've been in since '91. I'm like, I know that. Like, I'm aware.
Exactly, I'm aware.
You guys are just learning that. How somebody said something about somebody says, wait a minute, Iowa loses first round. Michael Vollmer. Iowa loses first. I don't know about that.
No,
I don't love Iowa. I agree with what you said.
Grand Canyon, GCU. Grand Canyon University, like 4 years old.
I think their basketball program is pretty new.
Yeah.
That threw me off. I lost my train of thought completely.
So let me ask you this question, Jay. Speaking of Iowa, this is the problem Iowa has: is the dynamic scorer. Who's their dynamic scorer?
Iowa.
Yeah.
Garza doesn't count as dynamic. Is that?
No.
No. He fills it up, man.
He did early in the season. He really doesn't anymore.
Yeah, I don't have any problem.
History, man. We're living in Twitterverse where if you're a day late, it's very, very old news.
I don't have any problem with somebody going against Iowa early on. I think they'll beat Grand Canyon. And what their 7-10 opponent is weak too. Oregon or VCU.
Yeah.
Honestly, Iowa should easily step to the Sweet 16 and then probably get smoked by Kansas. But
that's the thing. You got USC or Kansas. I mean, Kansas is not the Kansas of.
I agreed.
And USC comes from a conference that barely has basketball.
Virginia's coming out of that bracket. I just want to remind you.
Well,
they are.
That's what I had before, but I reminded myself.
I hear what you're saying, though. I'm very worried about that.
I reminded myself that, remember, before they won the national championship, Bennett was really, really bad in the tournament. Really bad. And I cannot get over the variables of the COVID-19 situation for them specifically. Right? Mm-hmm. I just don't know everything that's happening. Right? Sure, we know that a player had it. We don't know what that means. We really don't know anything. We don't know if they're going to have any other cases pop up.
So if you're Virginia, and let's say you know today that you probably can't play, let's say you know it today,
right?
There's an argument to be made that you wouldn't say anything because you want to know. You want to know if you're a tournament team, what your seed is. I think there's value to that as a program, right? So, we made another tournament. Silly as that sounds, like tournament every. I don't know. I could see not saying anything until you absolutely have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Could you bring up that? I don't know if you have the con. I don't know how.
I do not. Anish is listening to us. He's doing
Anish,
which one?
If you could bring up that Baylor in Texas point, I think that's a good one.
Kansas is going to be traveling without 3 players. Oh,
don't box out. Kansas is going to be traveling without 3 players. Okay, so here's my counter to that. Okay, unless those 3 players are in their 7-8 man rotation, I don't know if it matters too much. They've got a lot of talent up top, and they don't play a very deep bench from what I've seen. I don't know if it matters. So it could matter. Sure, it could matter.
Sure.
They absolutely
nobody knows what the hell's going to matter in this tournament.
No.
There's no. But yeah, somebody said there, maybe it is set up for Iowa. That's what I'm saying. I look at this and I have a hard time seeing how Iowa doesn't easily go to the Sweet 16. If not, almost like you said, who are they going to face? Kansas, USC, Drake. Like who?
Think about this for a second, because the funny thing, I blew through my bracket multiple times. I've gone through it twice. I literally just in my head, I said, "Hey, wait a second, did North Carolina make it?" I just said that to myself, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, right next door to Purdue."
Yep.
And guess what? I don't have any respect for North Carolina. I don't have any respect for Kansas either. But somehow I have Kansas getting relatively far. But North Carolina, you talk about danger, okay? And here's why they're dangerous. If you see them. Another team, they are very big. They have a bunch of high talent guys on that team. They didn't have a drop off. I don't know if my son and I, he's the brains of the operation. He'll say, "Hey, wait a second. Sure. They have you don't doubt it at all." But I think they had 2 5-stars in this class that actually made it to campus. Unlike a lot of teams that didn't have their recruiting class get there. North Carolina has talent. So they play Wisconsin. So they're talented. They're young. They haven't reached their potential. They're playing Wisconsin, who average age is like 45. They have Davison, who's the most unlikable human being in the world, on the team. And I just, of course, say, well, Wisconsin's experience gets them to the next round where they lose to Baylor. But there's a real good chance North Carolina could beat Wisconsin and beat Baylor. Because you look at Baylor's athleticism, it's tough to match up with, but North Carolina could match up with that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Purdue will beat North Carolina.
And well, here's the thing, though. If you can do what they're talking about here, people don't think about this. You then get the ones path. As an 8-9, if you're a weirdly talented 8-9 and you beat the one, now you have the ones path to the Final Four, which it doesn't matter as much from the Sweet 16 on, I guess, but it's still nice to have. Welcome to the show, Anish Ramaswamy. So Nathan Hartman commented, I asked Anish to bring this up. The Louisville, is that what's going to happen if Virginia can't go?
I believe
like you were saying, if a team can't go, these alternates just get their
plug
seed?
right in. I think Louisville is the highest replacement. I believe that's what it is.
As the 69th team in the country.
What
are you laughing at? I'm saying
nice.
That's fine.
I didn't laugh. Sorry, it's technical difficulties. I'm hearing something
I'm
different.
saying they're the first 4 out, and they would get in as a 4. They'd get Purdue's seed.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's why I was laughing. It's very unfortunate for
sense.
Louisville. It makes perfect sense for them to be the 69.
Listen to Anish's voice. It's great. Keep talking. I don't know what's happening. That's great.
It could be distorted. We'll see.
It's absolutely distorted. It's like you're going through a voice modulator. It's amazing. Please, I don't know.
I'm about to spout some reckless takes, so I needed some voice correction here. And so I really needed to do this.
It's so good.
It does sound like,
it's amazing. It's like obese Anish is here.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. Yeah, I think they plug in. I think Louisville plugs right.
Yeah, that's what a couple people have said. Anish is in witness protection.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So
why didn't he have the garbled face?
One thing that we haven't talked about yet. You talk about teams getting favored by the Big Ten or by the tournament selection committee. Michigan State is in the flipping field, man.
It's ridiculous. They literally took a month and a half off.
They're rested. They're ready to go, man. They'll probably go to the goddamn Final Four now. That's what'll happen.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Man. Somebody said, someone was saying, come on, Michigan State, UCLA, and Mackey Arena. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. The little history. First, Michigan State always plays Mackey Arena. UCLA played the first game in Mackey Arena.
That's right.
I don't know if they've been back since.
I was going to say that. I don't think they have.
It's very interesting.
I don't know why they would have. Purdue,
No.
But
there was congratulations on Twitter. If all of you guys, I think most of you here follow us on Twitter, but there's congratulations that was issued earlier today. Congratulations to Assembly Hall making the team.
Folks, that was a great tweet. Congrats to Assembly Hall for making the tournament.
That's amazing. That was great.
Yeah.
It's very well done.
I don't think you should kick them when they're down, but maybe we can make an exception here. I think that's all right.
That was a pretty good one. There's no need not to make that.
Oh, man.
Yep, 1967. That's right. My dad was on his first year in campus at Purdue.
December 2nd, I believe, 1967.
Yep. That's awesome.
Anish, since you're back, anything you've been dying to say before your internet cuts out again?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it lasts.
He sounds almost normal there.
Sounds a little better. I think he changed something.
I know. I'm trying to see.
Worried about you.
My only point. So I'm trying to go old school here with just the headset here. But my only point is we should absolutely kick IU when they're down. What are you talking about?
That's fair. That's fair.
I can tell you guys, that fan base, they are beside themselves. Being at that IU game the other night, it was pretty amazing. and I don't think there's any reason to feel sorry for anybody at all, but they really like, I don't think IU can afford not to fire Miller. That's where I land on this whole thing. It's just everything's broken. Everything's
broken, and they've lost everyone. There's no one saying, "Oh, wait, he deserves more time," right?
No.
I mean, 4 years is a long time to show no progress. I mean, that's not an exaggeration. None.
Well, not only they're not showing progress, but they also if you look at the kind of the body language, just nobody's buying in, right? That's the whole thing. Is there buy-in? There's no buy-in happening right now.
No.
Yeah,
So one thing I completely unrelated that I thought about, since we're talking about the tournament, this is something that I had in my bag of hot takes. I feel like, and I don't know, I haven't done any analysis on this. Shockingly.
Did you say you have a bag of hotcakes?
I have a bag of hotcakes. Always. Pancakes.
Okay.
So last year, some programs got totally rooked, right? Like with the no tournament, right? Programs that, I mean, we talked about this among ourselves. We were all legitimately all saying we were sort of happy for Rutgers, right? Because they were going to get in last year. Yeah. For the first time in 29 years. And if they hadn't had a good year this year, that would have really sucked for them. So here's my hot take. For 1 year only, since every sports
double elimination. Sorry.
Well, why not 96 this year? And any program that was close last year gets consideration as a special at large.
Does Dayton get to have Obi Toppin back?
Because his brother's on the team now, isn't he? Isn't that true? Is his brother on that team?
I think he is.
Yeah.
Dayton was
not
so
the
good.
same, by the way.
I already forgot about that. They were so good.
Oh yeah, they were the best. I have a bunch of Dayton fans in my life.
Were they top 10?
Yeah,
yes!
they were like number 3 or number 2.
They were a 1 seed. Yeah.
It's and they had the best player in the country. Oh, it does suck. It's awful. Yeah.
But like there's no way to write that, I realize, but like think of all the auto bids that didn't get to go. Like there's a way you could have expanded this, and it would have served so many purposes. It would have been a fun, weird thing for 1 year. It would have rewarded programs that aren't in this year that maybe were close, but last year would have been in. And it would have let it been a test balloon for, could you expand the tournament? Which gets talked about every, 3 or 4 years. There's like a real conversation. Should we expand this again? Like,
I hate the fact that you're an anti-expansion guy, that you're bringing up expansion. That makes me think it's very, very close.
How am I anti-expansion?
You're not a guy who wants the tournament 96 teams, are you? I've never heard.
I said just this year for this is unprecedented. So let's be honest.
This is like, think about all the sweet revenue they get from additional TV games. It's not going to go backwards after it's happened, right?
Probably not.
They're not going to be okay. It's fine. We're going to go back to 32. 48. I mean, seriously, it's not going to.
No. Here's another thing. Since I'm on things that I'd like to change, the play-in games, I probably say this every year, are frigging stupid. Have 64
really stupid.
Is the magic number. Everybody knows on Sunday night who's in. Right. 64 is the number. That's what it should be. I don't want to hear this. Oh, we have more auto bids. Okay, then have auto bids, and let's do mathematics and say 64 minus the number of auto bids, and those are your at-larges.
So you wouldn't have had Michigan State and Syracuse, definitely.
Would we be any worse off for that?
Heck no. I'm trying to think the other two, but no, we'd be just as fine.
I'm fine.
Higher octane.
I don't hate it because it.
It's more basketball.
Exactly, it gives some more basketball, but like, don't tell me that they mean anything.
I feel terrible for those 16s that play, and you're in the tournament, but not really when the excitement happens. You know what? If you insist on having those extra play-ins, make them all the Michigan States, the crappy major conference teams that didn't make them all play their way in.
So
you did an auto bid, you're playing Thursday.
Yes. Yeah, this is what I like. I don't want teams that won no team that won their conference should be
auto bid.
Exactly. Yes. No team that is a mid-major, frankly, that doesn't get to make the tournament a lot.
There.
Yeah. And
I know it'd be UCLA and Drake. Those would be the other two that would have been out.
But first of all of the auto bids should just go right into they should all be high major teams, and they should go right into the 16s. That's what
I
you
would
should
love that.
Yes.
Exactly. Because then all of a sudden, in a year like this, Michigan State is the 16 playing against whoever.
Wow. Well, now you'd have that 16-1 happen a lot more often.
Which is the point. That's fun.
Yeah, but then it's not exactly an advantage.
really
The one,
fair,
it's a
though.
reward for the one.
Yeah.
Maybe play him into the 12s or something.
Listen, you're only saying this because Purdue may get a 1 seed next year.
Yeah.
They'll change the rules, and Purdue will be playing
Exactly.
like an Illinois team that was hurt all year and is finally healthy.
Duke. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They'll get first round. That's exactly what would happen when they made that rule change.
That's
Yes, it would.
something that we talked about. I don't know if we ever recorded these thoughts. Anish talked about specifically the terrifying scenario of a 10 seed Duke coming against Purdue, right? We talked about that one.
Right.
Thank God that didn't come to fruition. And there are a lot of things that didn't come to fruition that could have.
Or Kentucky finding their way in.
I say this, this is a really friendly draw for Purdue. This is about as good, considering all the 4 seeds, this is about as good as Purdue could get.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is not an Elite 8 or Final Four bust year. This is all found money. You're hoping Sweet 16 and Elite 8, it would be a really fun run, and we're set up for it. Yeah. That being said, if a Final Four run were to happen, J Money and Boiler Dowd, does Texas Tech being in Purdue's bracket give you any of the heebie-jeebies?
Not
so.
Yeah.
So
a little
this
bit.
year, I think Paint would get lucky in that. I just don't think this Texas Tech team is that good. I mean,
You're still there, man.
Yeah.
How many times would
good,
Texas? Yeah. How many times would Beard have to beat Matt Painter before IU just says screw it and just
not many more?
We may have already seen him.
I think he's got to be. He's
in the short list of 3 or 4.
I was going to say he's got to be one of the ones you're talking to. He has to be.
Yeah.
And so to me, because Dowd, you were saying like, what was as my stream was rebooting here.
Yes.
I was looking at my bracket, and if Purdue were to go to the Final Four, I think they meet Texas Tech there, just because it's a weird year.
You have to go through them.
It's a weird year. It's a wonky year, and to me, it's going to be Ohio State and Texas Tech in that on that side
in that game,
Sweet 16 matchup. So. It's not that, it's not that far out of the question, I don't think.
I don't know if
I like
Kevin
Arkansas a lot. I like Arkansas a lot. That's the one. That's the fly in the ointment. And I don't think Texas Tech is as good. Ever since he did that weird game where he was laying down on the floor and got the triple technical or whatever, I was like, I don't think this is the same Texas Tech that we've seen the last couple of years. I don't think they're that good. So,
I don't know if Kevin Pass is trying to make fun of me, or if he actually means this, but he says, why not have a 68 team up in double elimination? Listen.
Yes, he's making fun of you. I can tell you, and he's right to make
definitively. He is making fun of you.
Exactly. That is totally.
How long would that? Hold on. Before we get too far on it, how would this mean that March Madness would last like 4 months? Because if that is the reality, that I'm listening.
Tell me more.
I think we should consider it.
Don't rule any good. No idea is a bad idea. That sounds a round robin double elimination. See, he threw it in there. If you just said one of those, maybe I would have been
right. Yeah, but
we're on a round robin, so we play everyone, but you can lose twice. Right? Like, what? You can't play everyone.
It lasts till May or June, at least.
Kevin behaves,
and that's like playing every other day.
That's a lot of basketball.
It's a lot of basketball. Yeah.
Just. Whatever. I like my idea. If you want to give extra bids, this is the year to do it. But you're right. It's kind of hard to get the genie back in the bottle when you start having more basketball.
Which one happens first? Micah Shrewsbury is named as a head coach, or Archie Miller is fired?
If it's going to happen, I will go on record in saying I don't think IU fires him this year. And I do think that there are too many people in the know that keep repeating Micah Shrewsbury and Penn State, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
No.
If Micah Shrewsbury gets a job, I'd much rather him go to like Boston College or something like that. But there are too many people saying it. So
it makes too much sense.
it would be a great, as much as I'm joking about, all of this, Micah Shrewsbury deserves a spot like Penn State. He is a great coach. He's going to make for a great program, head of a program, face of a program. And Penn State would be really lucky to get him. That being said, I hope Penn State makes a huge mistake, just like they usually do, because I want just one more run with this whole group together. But
I think if they don't make the hire, somebody else does.
To answer your question, I think Micah Shrewsbury is named head coach somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. So you think you do not think you think Miller is not out and Shrewsbury is in someplace else?
I don't. I don't know if there is money and an obvious candidate right now.
For what, IU?
For IU, and it usually takes money, and last time it took money and an obvious candidate. Archie. We say what we want to. Archie Archie was the obvious.
He looked like a good hire.
He absolutely looked like a great hire.
Yeah.
So in your hypothetical, to me, it's Micah Micah Shrewsbury.
Jay, do you have an opinion on it?
That's a good question. I think I would say Micah also, just because IU didn't do anything yet. So if they haven't yet, they might be waiting a little while, maybe till the tournament's over to start. I don't know. I think it's close, but I think both happen this offseason, and I think Micah gets hired first. That's what I'll say.
I tend to agree with you. I think both are going to happen, and the reason I think both are going to happen is, yes, Alfred is completely out of the question for IU.
Yes, he is. You answered it.
Yes, I will answer that question.
He's not. Listen, give him a chance. Bring
I want him to be.
There are no bad suggestions here in this. This
only
is
bad
just
coaches.
This is just this is an ideation session.
That's right.
Is really all it is. Exactly. We're just throwing. It'd be
that would be wonderful. There are some scenarios that I love, and that's one of them. Alfred coming back to IU, that's one of them. But I don't think that's going to happen. Here's what I think is going to happen. The more I think of it, the more I think about it, is I think that because Fife has little to no buyout as an assistant, I think that's the smart answer.
Oh no, I'm so terrified. We should please no.
Bring that up there, Anish.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to be. Anish, you have convinced me that Brad
No.
Stevens...
I was reacting to Dane Fife. I'm sorry. I don't know why Dane Fife is looked upon with such, respect.
I love the scenario. So I guess I'm trying to wish that one into being. Too.
I like it. So
I like it a lot. So but I think that think about this: if they had to scrape money together to get Archie out, which I'm told they've done. I'm told they've got the money together. Okay. And it's changed just in Indianapolis. Sure. Nobody knows anything really. These are the same people that said Brad Stevens was going to be coached last time, right? Same group, but it's changed. 2 weeks ago, they were saying there's no money to have the 10.5 million buyout or 10.3 million buyout, whatever it is for Archie. Well, now I hear they've got the money together and they're ready to, it's done. He's going to be canned. So the
Mark
tenor
Cuban
has changed.
decided to write the check, is what you're saying.
Well, think about it. You have literal billionaires that are IU alums, right? You've got the Simon money, you've got Cuban money, you've got tons of surgeons. That's all real, right? I think they can scratch the money together. I think it can happen. So the next part is, did they want to put the money together again to get somebody else's buyout, right? Beard, I'm sure, has a big buyout. I'm positive it's massive. Mm-hmm. That leads me right to Fife, right? I mean, I think that's an IU son coming home. What's better for the IU alums?
First, you are then saying that you think that it's Archie, like the Archie or Micah thing. You are saying it's going to be Archie.
I actually think Micah could be announced before then. But they'll say, well, he's going to stay at Purdue. So I'd probably say it's still Micah, because I think when they announce one with IU, I think they're going to announce the other. I think that's how it's going to work. So maybe when would Michigan State get knocked out of the tournament? Versus UCLA at Mackey Arena.
Oh no. Oh darn.
We're all playing my ideal world. Let's just keep going with it. It's my imaginary world. You guys can shut up. So Michigan State loses to UCLA at Mackey Arena. The next day, Fife is announced as IU's coach.
Do you guys, by the way, do you guys realize I did not remember this, or maybe I didn't notice it. You know where Alford is coaching now?
He's out New Mexico.
He was New Mexico.
It's a blue
13.
team now. It's
yes, and then he went to UCLA for the 6 years or
Nevada.
whatever, which is Nevada.
Yes.
It took over for Musselman.
For Musselman, but this guy, like, you know, Iowa, New Mexico, UCLA, Nevada, like he'll be coaching Hawaii soon. Like he's getting as far away from Indiana as he can get.
He'll be at the Engineering Academy of Guam.
The Colorado School of the Mines. You know, I told you that getting a buyout, getting paid millions, tens of millions of dollars to be told to please go away is my dream job. If I could do it at Hawaii, that's like my dream job.
Oh yeah,
I would like Hawaii to buy me out. So you know, I
stay there.
Yeah,
And heckle the new coach.
Yes.
You'd say, "Look, we're on good terms still. I don't know. I'm not leaving town."
I bought a house.
I got a really nice house. You guys bought half of it.
How can anybody be? It's not like they have any fans out there that are going to run you out of town. Where are you going to go? You know,
you'd be like June Jones. You just always be wearing like linen pants, a lei, and a big flowy shirt. I would assume you put on a lot of weight.
He was there for years, and then he did well, right? He did so well that he wound up having to take a job back in the real world, and I forget where he took one.
SMU?
Something like, or like, all right, it's Texas, not Hawaii.
Yeah, can you imagine how much of a letdown it would be? And I like the state of Texas, but going from Hawaii to Texas,
and he wasn't in Hawaii
everywhere. Get out of here with that
beige
nonsense.
Everywhere. Oh
That's
man,
horrible. That's an awful.
Nathan Hartman asks, "Is that a Scott Frost scenario?" I'm assuming he was talking about the Alford thing. No, that's not a Scott Frost because nobody in Indiana likes Steve Alford. So they all liked Frost at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got so much we could be talking about.
I would say Fife would be the parallel. That's a favorite son coming back. I think IU fans like him. Sure, I'm just gonna say yeah. Okay,
Yogi Ferrell, our head coach.
Fife. Yeah. He's fiery. He's gritty. He's a coach
Matt
on
Doherty.
the floor.
He's definitely a coach on the floor.
He is a coach on the floor.
I think he actually.
When I think of the attributes, I think he's got a lot of things that a lot of the IU fan base would like.
Oh, you think that? Oh, yeah. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Okay. Does more than one freshman? Whether you want, I don't know if you want to look at this half glass full or half glass empty. Okay. Does one or more of the freshmen not show up for the tournament, or do one or more of the freshmen dominate? Because I'm not sure if they are at a experience level yet to be counted on. You know what I mean? And it's the crowd is there. Like the crowd is playing in effect as opposed to for the rest of the season. I don't know. What are we thinking?
I think Edie's
Newman and Morton. I think.
I was just gonna say it's Edie and Ivy. What are you doing, you jerk? That was a setup. I thought I'm like, really?
You saw me laughing. I couldn't hold.
I didn't know what you were laughing at. No, I think Edie is gonna eat well against North Texas.
I did too.
And I think Jaden Ivey's beautiful mom is coaching him up and encouraging him. Did I let that slip in? Sorry, was that out loud? I thought that was in my head.
You said everything that was the right thing to say.
And as I said to you, and some of you guys listening,
she's in amazing shape, by the way, for a woman in our age group.
Easy. Well, what I was going to say,
I'm just saying.
I'm not hitting on you. No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying I'm impressed.
So I think we talked about this as a group, though. Some of you aren't as old as us. Mrs. Ivy is younger than you and me.
Yes, by 2 years.
Yes,
she's like 43, I think.
Yes,
I mean she's won a national title. Mm-hmm. She has coached in the NBA, and she is now the head coach of.
And she's produced Jaden Ivey. Let's not.
And now her son is a freshman.
What to find attractive there? That's all I'm going to say.
But
I can tell you this is not limited to just dirty old Jay and dirty old B Dowd, because I have other friends outside of the Boiled Sports realm that be like, "Is it wrong that I totally have a crush on Jaden's mom?" Like it'll just be brought up to me. I'm like, "No, it's not wrong."
I don't want Jaden Ivey to beat me up. I would like to.
I would very much respect your mom.
I don't think he would
exactly.
do that. I don't think. I know he's close to his mom, but I think if you handled it in a way that's respectful, like I have,
I am not tempting the Jaden Ivey fire.
He's got reach.
I was just gonna say that guy's like a spider, like just
long arms. It would be.
Oh man.
Yeah,
but I don't. I am waiting on. Maybe it's the cynical Purdue fan.
Yes,
but I don't know if I'm waiting for the second freshman wall to kind of hit for some of them. The first one did, which is where kind of in the middle of the Big Ten season, you saw those kind of repeated, 4-minute stretches without points and, all of that. And then they hit their stride again. The second half of the Big Ten season looked great. They finished really strong. It was, they had easy games to end the Big Ten season, but they finished them all strong. It is what it, when you're playing IU, it is what it is.
But IU, just a gimme.
Exactly. But, this IU team, maybe. Yeah. The amount of talent that's being wasted down there. Anyway, maybe I'm just waiting for the inevitable kind of like, what I feel like is the freshmen just don't show up.
Well, see, I'm like in a fairy tale type of mode where I'm just happy that there's a tournament and there's draws and all this. And
I'm just happy that we're all here playing.
Yeah, happy we're all here.
Happy to be here.
So I'm the other way. I think it's not going to be 2 freshmen. I think 3. I think it's Newman time again. He'll be back.
He's been quiet. He's been quiet.
He's been super quiet. And when he's quiet, generally he just blasts onto the scene. He doesn't step into it, right? He just throws 29 points at you.
Are you guys worried at all about Sasha? No. It's a pretty pedestrian finish to the regular season.
He had there were a couple games there right after right after he got back from COVID where he where he took off, like he was not himself. Then right when he was put back into the starting lineup, he had 2 games there where he was excellent, and then it kind of came back to he kind of came back to earth a little bit.
Yeah. Nathan Hartman has a great point to me. That's my point about everything. It's all gravy.
It's all gravy. Okay, so let's play that out. What do they have to do for you to not be disappointed? They got to win the first round, right? If they won and then lost a close game to Villanova, it's still a good season. That's it.
There you go.
Still a good season.
Yep.
Right? Anish, you agree?
That's it.
Yeah.
Still a good season if that happens. You'd be let down a little because you'd be like, man, I'd like a shot at
If they get upset first round, I'll be really very pissed. I'll be honest. Like all my happy goodwill it'll take me months to get over this, honestly. Because I know the way I've been like Mr. like rainbows and sunshine the last couple of weeks. And that would ruin that. So they got to get to round of 32. And I've always thought, I think I've been clear on this. Round of 32 loss would not be the end of the world. If they lose to Winthrop in the round of 32, this is going to be like old fashioned, just J and B Dowd talk. Like back when Boiled Sports was just a baby. And we'd say, oh my gosh, see, it could be something like, let's say Baylor loses to Hartford and Purdue has to get through Winthrop and they got to get through Winthrop and Colgate to get to the Final Four. And then they poop themselves. Against Winthrop.
A miracle run by Winthrop.
Exactly.
The next Shaka Smart emerges onto the scene. Exactly. Shaka's one good tournament performance happened to be against the Purdue.
He thinks, by the way, he thinks that hairdo is going to make all the bad juju go away.
I think he might be about to have his second run.
Oh, just a mere decade after the first one.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, he made it further than Purdue.
To spring it on you for 10 years.
He made it further than Purdue's 2 stars. That's all that year. So
that's horrible.
Yeah, it was.
But I was just saying, okay, so you look at balance in the universe, right? We talk about Dayton and we talk about Penn State, the teams that really lost last year. Texas, Smart's job was probably saved last year, right? he was really, really in a position where they were not happy. They're like, okay, world just came to an end. Not firing anybody now.
No,
and they come back this year and they're very, very good, right? I mean, first,
but he's got to do
however many
years. He's got to do something, doesn't he? He can't lose to Abilene Christian in the first round.
No, they won't. That's a horrible team. I watch them play. That's
horrible.
But they could very easily lose to the Matty Harms.
Abilene Christian's 23-4, man. Get the hell out of here. They're not good. Wonderful. Their BPI is 82.
Did you watch that game?
Their BPI
Did you watch
is
their
82.
championship?
No.
That's the funny thing about the tournament, and I've been saying this all day to different people where they're like, oh, man, they got to go through Baylor. Oh, man, they got to go through whoever. Does it matter, really, guys? If they got to go through a number one to get to the Final Four, does it matter which one it is? It's all going to be like
every game.
I mean, it'd be a miracle if they got through
round and starts to be hard, right? I mean, they're all hard.
Think about the last tournament run. Let's think about
that's it. Yep.
You had 2 games where they just rolled teams, and then you had grind the hardest battles
which is
possible.
Good as you can expect, right?
And
two rolls is great.
And
That's
you
awesome.
saw the draw. We saw the draw that year, and we were like, "Dang, I guess it's
They're
not
going to lose to Villanova."
I guess it's not the year." Yeah, and
Villanova was the defending champs.
Yes.
So to me, all you can do is look at the players and see if they show up. That's why I'm a little worried at the lack of experience. I'm a little worried at how young the roster is. But given the fact that, Trevion is there to kind of anchor them, I feel good about it.
The one thing I think it's a little different from that team is there's no Carson Edwards on this team. That might be there's a little.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But there are more pieces. It's a different team.
But I think everyone forgets about that team 2 years ago.
Great defensive team.
Well, but we didn't think that team. Remember the season before? That was when Harms broke his elbow, and I'm not Harms, Haas, and we were like
a 17-game winning streak.
That was right. That was the team with Boogie that we thought those are all the pieces, right?
Yes.
Then those guys leave, and we're like, this is gonna be a fun year. Boogie's just gonna go off. It's gonna be a fun year. And
I went through that team and I said,
final.
okay, you got Edwards, who's instant dynamite, and then you've got Klein coming off the bench to bomb threes like John Paxson, right?
That's an interesting comparison. Why would you compare him to John Paxson?
He's
Steve
gritty.
Kerr, maybe?
He's a coach on the floor.
Steve
heady
Kerr
guy.
would be another one.
Kerr,
What
John
was
Paxson.
what's the guy's name on the Cavs back in the early 90s?
Mark Price.
Mark
Price. Yep.
There we go.
Yep. That's Larry Bird. Do we do that? No,
Larry Bird.
Is that too far? I went too far. I'm sorry. Not very good.
We're talking about little scrappy guys.
Okay, sorry. My fault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Purdue's winning the national title.
Yeah.
Going with the whole damn thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Do we know times yet? Has that been released?
No, that has not been released as far as I know. I mean, before we got on, they weren't there.
I know they're Friday. I know they and Rutgers. I'm going to have those side by side.
That's right.
Are you going to wear your half? Are you
mega
going to wear your
cast
half and
setup?
half?
Your half design. Craig Elo, good
Very
pull.
good.
Except
Elo's
Kevin.
tall.
I was going to say Craig Elo is closer to Larry Bird than Ryan Klein is.
Yeah.
So let's.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm going to have my house divided. Rutgers, Purdue.
Right, you have your flag out front.
I can't believe I haven't bought you all of the house divided Rutgers Purdue merchandise. I think that's what I'm doing with my next stimulus.
Let me be clear to anyone listening. I have no affiliation with Rutgers. I live
That's what
near
you
it.
say. That's what you say
That's what
until
you
I
tell
got to
people,
your house.
exactly.
Until I cut you open and you bleed Rutgers red.
Exactly. It will be crimson. You will bleed crimson.
Bleed Rutgers red.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to mention something real quick. There's a big thing happening. There's big changes happening at Gridiron Metalworks. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah, we should mention our sponsors periodically.
We should probably.
By the way, wait! Before you even do this, by the way, we have a bracket challenge. We have a bracket challenge that we should have mentioned.
Probably at the beginning before we lost everybody.
But I love that you were doing yours thing the other day, and somebody was like, "You guys should do a bracket challenge." I went after that guy.
He was on here.
I know. I went after him in the post where I posted about it on the site that he probably didn't read.
Right.
And it's been going on for probably 10 years, and
at least.
And And there are real prizes, not just you get to talk to us, but AJ's is giving away a gift card.
Yeah.
You will get some BS swag if you're watching on the live stream. Anisha's showing it. You will get the item of your choice. It can be a rocks glass or a paraphernalia. We will wear it first if you'd like that to be the case. So it has our musk on it.
Some muskiness in there.
Yeah. So there are actual. Check the site out. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but check it out. You'll see details of that. Now, sorry. Go on. You were going to talk about one of our favorite sponsors, Gridiron Metalworks.
Oh, I mean, I've only got 3 favorite sponsors.
Okay, what are they?
All right, but Gridiron Metalworks is definitely one of those 3. I will say that
they're in the top 3. Let's put it that way.
But they've got a new creative director. It's like good things are coming. Is what I'm saying. Like it's been.
I thought it was. Well,
it's been.
It was nice of them.
Real good
to pick up Paul after that incident that got him fired from Purdue. I thought that was nice of them
to buyout. We talk about buyouts a lot. His buyout was big, and Derek had to go to bat. He had to put for the future. He put a lot of money in this, and so if you guys believe that, in small business, if you believe in America, number 2, you'll probably go to gridironmetalworks.com right after you get off.
What we're trying to say is that it's just like IU adding Josh Pastner as the face of their program.
For example,
correct?
Just to throw someone's name out there.
I'm trying to say that Paul Sadler is that's mean. That's
fat-faced Josh Pastner.
I can't do that. I can't do that to him. No, I can't do that to him. I'm sorry. I can't do that to him. Yeah. But I will say that Gridiron does, after all of the work that we did, let's say you're buying for an IU fan or you're an IU fan yourself, they have all of that. I'm disappointed.
Tons of IU fans are listening right now.
I'm disappointed.
They've moved on.
I'm not.
Nothing else to watch.
I'm not sad. I'm not sad. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. Right. Gridiron. Why are you so good at your job? Why do you have so many things?
Why? Yeah, it's impossible to decide.
Let's say though, Dowd, that you are in town.
Yep.
You scored one of the very few tickets to the Becky Arena to go see a tournament game. What would you and you were starving? What would you do?
Oh, well, so like for instance, if you're within an hour of Indianapolis, there's a lot of if you just draw, you get is it your compass, your protractor? Like
it doesn't matter.
You what?
Is it your rectum?
Yeah.
Barely killed him. Okay, but you just draw a radius around and you're Purdue's an hour away. And so what I would do, I just, like you got an afternoon to blow, you let's say you got second session tickets, you go up to AJ's. You go up to AJ's. You get a pint, maybe 2.
A pint?
Look at one of their, I think they have 175 TVs.
An afternoon to what?
Blow.
Oh, we've got off the rails. AJ.
You have to clip that audio.
AJ's. You get mac and cheese bites. This is just to start. You get mac and cheese bites. And then you get a some sort of massive amount of meat with cheese on it. Okay, I don't care. You can get a triple cheeseburger. I'm sure they do it. If Adam's there, he'll make you a quad cheeseburger. You got the money. He'll do it. Okay? Just go to AJ's, damn it. That's all I'm saying.
EatAJ's.com.
EatAJ's.com and leave happy.
I think this is the site's, this is the podcast new tagline. Painful but hilarious. Can't look away.
Can't look away.
Thank you all for lasting this long with us.
It's incredible. Yeah. You guys out there.
Great stamina out of everyone.
Join the
a lot of long talent out here.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of long talent. All of you long talent should join the bracket challenge. We will see. We will talk to you next week after Purdue has made it to the Sweet 16 in dominant fashion.
Oh yeah, easy peasy.
I love you guys.
Good night.